1. Hello, this is AEI 2000 with my 6.83 patch notes. Um, I haven't prepared as well as I should have for this because my internet went down right before I wanted to stream this, and I started picnicking. But anyways, I think this patch notes will be pretty long by me. I like to talk a lot, and a lot of it will be useless, my talk. So if you want like a more condensed one with pretty pictures, I suggest you guys go to Merlini's patch notes analysis because I think his are actually really high quality, and you can find his on YouTube at Merlini Dota. That's MERLINI DOTA, I think. I hope I got that right. But anyways, so here's some pretty artwork by Valve. I hope that. Wait, let me check if this is showing up. Alright, this is showing up. Okay, we're Gucci. I've never done one of these before, so I'm going to be a bit inexperienced here, but hopefully this goes well. So 6.83 is mostly a small rebalance of the game. I think that Dota is in a very good spot right now in that it almost feels like there are too many pickable heroes for pro players. It makes it very hard to draft, which is probably overall a good thing for like the game and for the scene. But I think Dota is incredibly well balanced, and iShark has been doing a really good job of making sure he's improving balance a bit while not breaking anything, in my opinion. Anyways, I'm gonna jump straight into the gameplay updates because I don't know anything about items. I am artistically challenged. So ranked all pick initial planning phase reduced from 40 to 30. I think that the pick time should be lower because I hate playing all pick and just waiting 5 minutes to start the game, but that's sort of irrelevant to me, I guess. The first rune spawn are now bounce runes are twice as effective. They go from 50 gold in the XP to 100. This is important because before you could break the game. Okay, I'm gonna use an example of a pro game here to sort of solidify my point. During one of the games of EG versus Cloud9 at the summit, we picked up a haste rune on Skywrath. They dual lane off laned Batrider Darkseer. Their lane was level 1 at something like 2 minutes 30 seconds when it could have actually beat our lane if we did not get a haste rune. It would have beat our lane, but it would have done a lot better than what they did. They got 0 gold in XP. That is ridiculous. We lucked out on a random haste rune, and a big part of why we won that game was just because of that haste rune. So what this does is it eliminates sort of random variance in the game, which is, I think, a good step for the game, and it makes it so that the first rune is still good to fight over, because we still want these fights over the first runes. 100 gold in XP is nothing to scoff at. It might actually be too high. When iShark was sort of talking to players about this, I think maybe, I know I sort of expressed that I wanted it to be 100, but like I was sort of cautious because I didn't know if that was too high. But I can see really cool situations in that, like, you basically just gank the rune, or you somehow have way stronger level ones, you split up, and then you secure both runes for one person, and suddenly they have 200 extra gold, and they're level 2. Or a support has 350 gold at the start, and then so he can buy a smoke at -1 minute game time, and then you pick up the rune, you get your boots level 1 anyway. Stuff like that. There's a lot of really cool applications for this. All illusions now do 25% less damage to structures. I think it only matters for Terrorblade and Chaos Knight. I don't think this affects Naga at all. Terrorblade did kill buildings too fast. I think Chaos Knight was a bit weak, but I don't think that iShrug wants to make Chaos Knight into a base sieger anyways. I think that illusions doing damage to structures, such high damage to structures, is overall just bad for the game, just because, like, you know, if you've seen like the old PL games where you just Manta Siege, you Illusion Siege, it wasn't very good. Melee range barracks bounty reduced, now it gives bounty to everyone. I have no real thoughts on that. It's probably good because it just makes the game more consistent. Like, people didn't realize that killing both the Raxes gave more gold than killing the tower, which is probably a bit too high. Now it's a bit more balanced. It makes getting the Rax more of a team thing. So yeah, that's good. Also, like, if you force your creeps to get the Rax by somehow distracting them, you should be rewarded for that. Before, you do not get as rewarded. Ward location right of Roshan is now pathable, thank God, because you can blink up there. Fix a ward location near die agents that could not easily be seen. I think that was the one that Vici placed, is sort of under the hill, above the ward that they just made pathable. It's above it just a bit. Anyways, the Grey Knight Golem. I'm gonna highlight what I talk about. Is that annoying for people? Someone in Twitch chat tell me if tell me if this is annoying because I for me I like it when I read stuff, but I know a lot of people like, get really pissed off when I'm highlighting everything I read. Anyways, this is good because one, maybe Chen's egg scepter will actually be useful because right now it's terrible. I think it sort of sets a trend where I think the ancients are going to become a bit more unique. So maybe Chen's eggs is actually useful and the camp is more dynamic. It also nerfs ancient stacking and doing all the ancient camps, which is good because ancients were way too powerful. You look at a team like Secret, where 6% of Kuroki's farm comes from ancients. That's extremely high for two camps on the map. But anyways, and I'm not saying that to Flame Secret. That's incredibly good by them. I think we need to learn from that, and I think that we should have 10% of our farm come from ancients if we can. So private lobbies, creeps on the good stuff, makes it easier to remake games. Max attack speed. This is only useful for Windrunner, Ursa, and possibly Troll if you're not itemizing right. I think overall it's just a buff for Ursa and Windrunner, which is needed because those two heroes seem relatively mediocre. These ones, it's cool. I'm scared of Empower. I was scared of Empower last patch a lot, and it didn't get used as much as I thought it would. So who knows? People know exactly how shitty Vanguard, Stout Shield, and Crimson Guard are for the initial damage block, and how good Poor Man's Shield is. Good stuff. Fog of War. This sort of leads to the thought that, oh my god, maybe we'll see some cool Fog of War things with maybe Night Stalker or new heroes or stuff like that. Abaddon buff. When I talk about the things, how I talk is I usually call it OP or trash, or I'm gonna say it's nothing. This one is sort of nothing to me. Alchemist is potentially OP just because your early gold gain when you're level 3 is so much higher than before. And when you're level 1 and 3. So that means that you're gonna be able to get something like a 3-minute Midas as a last, like if you get a free farm Alchemist. Of course, people are going to balance this by going like, oh, if they have an Alchemist, you just don't let them free farm. But it's not always that easy. If you sneak in a last pick Alchemist, it can happen. And if he gets a 3-minute Midas, the level of snowball from his farm is going to be insane because he's going to get his level 7 quicker and he's still going to catch up with levels. Right now, even with someone who hyper farms like Anti-Mage or Alchemist, they still have points in time where they're really vulnerable. Alchemist before was probably too long and he needed a buff, but I'm not too sure if this buff is a bit too significant and makes him a bit too strong. Yeah. So his timing window where he's weak is going to be very small. I think this should make him a lot more viable as carry, but I always think that Alchemist should be viable, and then he always seems so mediocre in practice, so yeah. Duration down. This is probably a buff just because it's very rarely that you got a full battle hunger. Cast range down is a nerf, of course, but I think it was unnecessarily long before just because you're in the front with Axe anyways. The mana cost will help a lot because at one point in time, I wasn't sure whether to level it just because you're really short on mana with that hero. It's not like that for me anymore because I go clown the items like Heal Scepter on him. But the movement speed slow is nice and the lower mana cost is definitely nice. It's overall a buff to Axe. Nightmare cooldown, it makes leveling Nightmare worth it because I think a lot of players were going like 0-4-1-1 stats. And I don't think that's, first of all, I don't think it's that good on Bane because he has really high stat growth. He has like 2.4 and everything. But it's pretty insignificant to be honest. Beastmaster became a lot stronger. I will say that when I initially read the patch notes and when I'm doing them now, I do think of some things that I'm not going to talk about. And I'm sorry, but that's just how it's going to be. Just because I think there's some things about heroes like Beastmaster which I want to save for my team for when we play, and that's sort of the downsides of having a pro player do a patch analysis. But this is a pretty big buff for Beastmaster, I think, overall. The boar level 40% through BKB is really big. 60 damage is, people underestimate that because it's actually piercing damage. So when you go to last hit creeps with your level 4 boar, you can probably outlast hit any hero at that point if you're good with it. And 40% attack speed and move speed slow is a ridiculous amount. If you've ever been liquid fired by Jakiro, you can feel it, but now it's a consistent thing and it slows move speed. 40% might even be too high, but who knows. This guy. Okay, every time a new hero is added into a patch, I'm incredibly scared because I don't understand the hero at all. Every time I play this hero, I do a lot of work, and I think the hero's probably going to be a support just because my friend was playing support on it in a pub. And like, I was low in lane and he blood raged me and I just healed to fall off the lane creeps. And then like I was doing an ancient stack, he blood rages me and they just instantly died. And we were doing Roshan. He blood rages Roshan, he blood rages me, and Roshan instantly pops. Like he's a very good hero like that. I mean, as support, he does have a silence, he does have like a decent ulti. His ulti is pretty good. Now that it lasts long, even though it doesn't have the initial damage. He gets vision, he sort of can jungle fast. I'm not too sure if that's true though, he might just be a core too. It's just that whenever I play him later on in the game, he gets sort of awkward just because people stop being low HP all the time, basically. So you don't get those bonus movement speeds and stuff. Maybe with some Zeus Furion and something, you just go super fast, you get BKB fast, you blood yourself, you go ham on everyone. But anyways, Bounty Hunter, everyone gets a track. 4-second cooldown. Probably a needed buff just because the last patch really nerfed Bounty Hunter in that you got ahead in gold, but you didn't necessarily get any stronger, it felt like, when you were ahead in gold, because Bounty Hunter is sort of designed around being ahead in gold, your team being ahead in gold, because his skill set is not that good if you compare him to other skill sets other than track. Oh, I think that's something I should have mentioned for Alchemist too. The reason why Alchemist needs a buff is because the being ahead in gold thing is not as good as previous to the gold and XP changes. So that means that if you get really far ahead at an Alchemist and then you die, you're gonna give them a lot of gold. It's less true now after the nerfs to that patch hit, but it's still true to a certain extent. So the Alchemist and Bounty Hunter buffs are probably overall really good for the hero. Brewmaster definitely did a nerf. That hero is ridiculously OP. I think he's still usable, which is nice. I like the fact that they didn't nerf his OT because I think that that's his strong point. I love how Ice Flow balances actually. He'll keep one aspect of the hero strong while having some weaks. It makes for a dynamic picking, I think, and like you don't have heroes that are too similar for each other. Of course, I think sort of overdone heroes like Crystal Maiden, but we'll talk about that later. Heroes slow duration down. That means that the creep slow duration is still high, so he's still really good at clapping summons. Not many people realize that, but like his clap lasts like 20 minutes on summons at least. So for 1/3 of a 60-minute game, they're just slowed when you clap them. Base armor definitely helps because he was way too strong at level 1. His clap was really good, and he was way too tanky when you got Stealth Shield. Post-pay damage stack increased, probably good. Bristleback was underpicked. I think it's like the thing about this patch is that it's all going to be small buffs and nerfs. I think I don't think anything is overly alarming, unless I haven't gotten to yet, and I missed it in my like 5 minutes of prep because my internet went down before I did this. When I wanted to have like 35 minutes of prep, but yeah. So Bristleback quill spray damage increased. That just means if you get like 5 stacks, you're going to do, what is that? 6 plus 12 plus 8. You're gonna do more damage, okay? Oh god. That's actually so embarrassing. What the hell? Like, okay, anyways, I don't really care enough to do it. So Broodmother Spiderling, Day Vision reduce. This will help a lot with the hero. I actually think the Day Vision should be lower than that. I think the Night Vision on the Spiderling should be lower than that, just because of how mobile they are now. They're too good at scouting tools. You can send them everywhere, all over the map. I talked to Ice, and he thinks that his Broodmother sucks. And I'm not saying this saying his Broodmother sucks. His Broodmother is probably the best right now, but he thinks that his Broodmother is severely underdeveloped, which sort of shows the potential in that hero. And it's scary because I think that a lot of our games with Vici scouted us out, and it felt so hard to play against that hero. So I am incredibly scared of Broodmother right now. Chaos Knight changes. Obviously, pretty decent buffs. His illusions last longer than Terrorblade or Naga illusions, as far as I know. I think Terrorblade illusion, yeah. So that's pretty scary. If you can make them stay alive, they're going to do work. Those illusions hurt. The Reality Rift mana cost is really good, and the Reality Rift damage at level 1 is actually quite high now. That's quite a bit of damage. He's going to have a really sick combo at like level 2 or 3 now. I mean, it's 35 extra damage, but that matters quite a bit. And Phantasm, I think Chaos Knight is one of the most ridiculous heroes late game if you can skip a BKB in the mid game and keep up in farm. Because if you go BKB, you can never keep up on farm on that hero unless you have like a Magnus or a Wisp. And even then, it's sort of hard. With this new change, I think that if you can keep up with farm, you can basically ult at their tier 1. Oh wait, illusions do last 2 towers though, so maybe not. You can ult at their tier 2 and take their tier 2 and tier 3, and a push will last that long. So that's quite strong. Test of Faith now teleports all your units to you when you cast out yourself. Chen obviously need a buff dispatch. I think, like on paper, these buffs sound really OP, especially having 2 permanent creeps at level 3. But it's hard to push early and then snowball a lead. I think the problem with that is that so not the problem with that. The thing with that is that Chen is one of the best heroes at keeping leads after snowballing. That's one of the strengths of the heroes. Because you can have one of your cores push super aggressively, and then if they get in trouble, you just send them home. So that's pretty cool. The thing is, I don't know if I should mention this. I think most teams know this, but so I'm gonna say it. Test of Faith is purgeable. So Diffusal Blade and Yoceptor are Diffusal Blade got a buff, Yoceptor got a nerf, but both should be popular next patch. So there are ways to counteract this bullshit Chen split push with a core that people haven't been using. I think enough pro teams know about that. So yeah. I would like to play Chen again. He's one of I don't know if he's one of my better heroes, and I enjoy playing him. And he's it's funny how like people think the micro heroes are harder on ping. I actually really like playing Chen and Visage on ping most of the time, just because a lot of them is about movement rather than having to like individually micro during a fight. Like Chen micro is a joke, by the way, like compared to any micro in an RTS game or something like that. So I'm not like on ping, that's fine. Clink's space attack range increase. The only real specific use for that is that he can kill wards from outside of the range, like Venom wards, Pugna wards. Other than that, maybe you get like an extra hit off, which can be game breaking on Clinks, because I played a lot of games where people escape with 100 HP. Battery Assault Clockwork improved, good. You need a buff. Pistol Nova attack speed, meh. Good for level 1 fights, I guess. Frostbite cooldown down. The problem with the buffs, like, holy shit, Freezing Field's really good. Is that Crystal Maiden? Wow, Freezing Field is really good. And 10 seconds doesn't really matter, but I can see some really good uses for this. You can even probably farm stacks with it, I guess. You Nova them and then you ulti and they have no attack speed and you just instantly farm a giant stack. Which is so weird because you can go down Crystal Maiden. But the problem with Crystal Maiden is one, her move speed, her armor, and so I said one and I didn't say two. Her armor, and then three, she doesn't have enough mana to cast her spells. So even if the Frostbite cooldown is from 10 to 7 at level 4, I don't think I would level Frostbite in a lot of games unless maybe I can get like Treads or Staff or something like that. It's really hard to manage your mana on a hero, which is sort of weird because she has Arcane Aura doubled on her. She just doesn't have enough base mana to cost base int to cast spells. English is hard. Help. Darkseer. Base armor increased by 1. That means the hero is completely ridiculously imbalanced now. We're lucky that Vacuum cooldown didn't get decreased by 1, or he would just be top 1. But honestly, it's nice to have these base armor things, especially since Darkseer's agi gain isn't that high. So when you see him at level 1, that's almost his armor when he's level 15. Or I mean, it's not that drastic, but it's like pretty close, you know. And a vacuum pull duration. This one matters more than people think because right now people are having some problems sometimes with getting vacuums into walls, which is what his sort of safe combo is supposed to be, where you vacuum them and then you right click to cancel your vacuum animation and then you click wall and you left click it on the same spot. You hit the alt key for wall, so it's like vacuum here, I'm drawing it, and then you right click forward so you're facing the right way and that cancels your animation, and then you left click a wall down, and then that in theory should hit them with the wall. Right now, it feels like vacuum's a bit short for that. Maybe the 0.1 seconds will make that combo a lot easier. It also means that when you do the sort of more I want good results combo, which is wall into vacuum, you're going to have just a little bit more stun. Maybe your illusions get one more hit before they instantly pop. Anyways, that's a base attack range increased. He probably didn't need a buff, to be honest. I know Secret been first picking him. I still haven't discovered specifically why, but I know that hero is good. Death Prophet strength growth reduced. Good. That hero was a bit too tanky, in my opinion, going into late game for what she should be, considering that you build tanky items on her anyways. Disruptor, Glimpse, mana cost, rescaled, good, cost too much early. This is a buff for Disruptor, but Disruptor I think has been buffed every single patch, so the hero should be good. The thing is with him, he's sort of a bit more awkward to play just because he gets like he's a hero with weird peaks, right? Level 1, he's pretty okay, level 1 he's pretty mediocre. Even level 2 he's still sort of mediocre. Level 3 your Glimpse might have enough range, and then you're like really strong at like level 8 or something. Which is a good peak because I've talked about this before, but level 8 is really easy to get, level 9 is really hard to get, just because level 8 600 HP, level 9 is 1200 HP. I'm going way too tangential here, I need to stay focused. And then like he gets really good until enemy heroes have BKB, and then he gets useless, and then he gets really good once he has eggs. And then I guess he stays good after that. But like his power gaps are sort of, it makes him hard to play. I think the hero should be picked now though. I think he's one of those heroes that could be picked. It's just there are too many, like people flame pros for not realizing heroes are OP, but there are like 90 viable heroes in Dota, and they're all situationally broken. And I love Dota because of that, by the way. So that's cool. Dragon Knight OT level 3 now maintains a corrosive breath ability. Dragon Knight need a buff. I don't know if this is where it needs to be. It's probably good, I guess. It just adds a little bit of damage. It still lets him push. But Dragon Knight level 3 ulti was already incredibly strong. Like, I would never, almost never, unless I like base race, I level up to level 60, I'm like, oh, should I get my ulti? I'm base racing them already, I need an extra 20 DPS. Almost never get keep level 2 ulti instead of level 3. But I like it how, like, when you level up things, you never lose stuff, because I think abilities should get stronger as a whole. I think it's probably good. Illusion style benefit from marksmanship bonus, you can get Manta on Drow Ranger, which is pretty nice because your illusions hit for 200 base, which is a lot when you're like level 11. I don't know what the Manta thing is, probably 25% to hit for 50. That's pretty decent. You can push out lanes, you can last hit with them before Manta's Garble on her, and they attack fast, which is good. Earth Spirit. This is probably a good nerf for him. He was way too strong at level 1. He had a 135 damage nuke with an 80% attack speed slow, which is wow, at 1600 range. So that's good. I like this change. Makes it a bit weaker early game, and it doesn't. I think you can still do really cool things with hero. I'm quite excited for when that hero gets into competitive, and by excited I mean ridiculously frightened and scared because I'll never be able to play him because I'm a West Coast player to Luxembourg. But yeah, and it's enchant totem mana reduce. I mean whatever. It's a decent buff just because you have level 1 enchant totem until level 12 usually. So you're not going to be casting it. You're basically saving 30 mana, which means Earthshaker mana costs are really high. So yeah. Damn. Fix my shit. Anyways, ET, the damage nerf is actually quite big because you can't kill the range creeps anymore. I think it's probably good. The hero is sort of strong. I just want to say, every pro player on ET used different bugs, including like everyone's like Ice and Nota are probably like the two biggest ones. They trust me, they use some movement bugs on the Astral Spirit, and they use them every game. Enchantress is now faster than Crystal Maiden with boots. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna get new water. Got 2 bottles because I dry mouth while talking. So this should help because right now it's sort of hard to defend your jungle. Oh, there's another thing about Chen I should have mentioned. It's pretty hard to defend your jungle with early on Chen, so even if he does have 2 creeps at level 3, he's not going to get there if they have an Ogre Magi or something like that. Just walk around his jungle. This Enchantress change though, like, she might just be able to always defend her jungle because you can just kite them. You're so fast. 335 is so fast. And I will say that movement speed is a significant buff. Like, even 5 movement speed is a significant buff. 20 is insane. When Luna got changed from 300 to 330, I think she became like... I lied. When Luna got changed from 320 to 330, it didn't matter at all. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think she got changed from like 300 to 320 at one point. It's really big. Anyways, this really helps in the late game, especially, or mid late game, because you are over reliant on your Mask of Madness to hit stuff in the late game if you played her with a little bit of farm. When your Mask of Madness was up, you couldn't hit stuff not because of your range, not because of anything, because you're too slow. You're stupid Bambi, 365 movement speed. Now you're 385, which is very respectable. Faceless Void, Time Lock no longer slows attack speed, probably a good nerf. Chronosphere cooldown increased, probably a good nerf. Ward types no longer attack while inside Chronosphere. Meh. Probably a good nerf. Witch Doctor Void was pretty strong. You couldn't kill that lane. It was good in lane. It was good team fight. Gyrocopter. This, by the way, this is probably one of my top changes for this patch. Not because I think it'll break the game, but because I think that it sort of displays how Dota's balanced, and I really enjoy how Dota is being balanced right now. This is creative. It doesn't make him OP. But it makes him support viable. It increases teamwork. Everything about this change makes me happy. And I want to see I want to test it. Can you you put a rocket on them and you're 600 range for that, and you just force out the rocket into it instantly, and it's like a 3-second stun, because that would be so cool. I'm sort of I think Gyrocopter is viable support now. I will say that. And wow, Conan is so big. 450 to 600 is really big. Wait. Okay, so people don't understand AoEs a lot of times. I'm not trying to say that to downplay people, but so it goes from 200,000 to 360,000. So the AoE from 450 to 600 is basically doubled. That's the main thing. It's increased by 75% or whatever. Basically doubled. That is huge. That cooldown is so big, and it does not. I'm playing this hero at support. This is my new hero. I'm so happy, and he's a hero that can probably zone most offlaners, especially with the trend of getting boots first on one support, and he's very strong at it. His high kill potential. His gank is pretty mediocre, to be honest, but if you have something like a Quaswex and Volcramid, then your gank becomes really strong. Oh, I'm excited for this shit. Yeah, this is my stuff. Oscar, remove that hero from the game. I hate him. I hate his concept, but yeah, his concept is I'm broken. I'm broken if you guys didn't pick from a selection of heroes that's 75% of the pool. I'm completely broken. If you guys pick from those 75%, I'm pretty useless. That's why I don't like his concept. I don't like heroes like that. The buff helps him, whatever. Helps him quite a bit actually, because level 1 Inner Vitality used to be complete garbage. Now it's actually a good hero. Is it 16 duration? I don't know what the duration is because I never played a hero, but that's pretty good. Io no longer requires turning to perform AI actions. He is a ball. This is really good for. This is a bigger buff than people think. The biggest one is for when you're saving people. You can time it way easier because you don't have to account for turn rate. And I wonder if it's also like that for auto attacking, because he just became the best kiter. Because Io was already pretty decent at trading hits. That's because his animation was so good. He has no animation at all. That guy might just be a really good zoner first melee. It's you can get maybe even boot. Okay, this is sort of clowny because you need an early bottle, but if you get boots first, you can get so many hits on offlaner with your 35 base damage. Yeah, that's just at 35 base damage. I don't know what it is. It's 42 or something. I think it's 38. I don't know. Liquid Fire Reduce. Good. Hero's OP. I love the hero though, so yeah. It doesn't break what he can do though. He can still take a tower with one creep wave, which means the hero's still pickable. I like that. Juggernaut terrifies me. I think the hero's good. I'm not going to talk about him that much. Chakra Magic. Buff to Kodo guy. Blinding light duration increase. That is scary with the low BKBs. Probably a good buff. Keeper wasn't picked as much. I expected Secret to pick him a lot at Summit. I don't know why they stopped picking him. I think they played him I think they played him the best in the world, and I think he was good. The Keeper light. It's Kunkka. Damn. When you're level 3 as a carry Kunkka, the offlaner can never return to lane basically. It is impossible. You have a 4-second hold. So that's something. I support his gank when he's level 3 is also really strong. And I thought the hero was good in a lot of games regardless. There was one game in the Summit where we would have picked a support Kunkka if I pushed for it. I was 80%. I was 100% confident the pick was good. I was 80% sure I could play the hero. We had another hero where we were 95% confident it was good, and 100% I could play the hero, and I think we won that game anyways. So yeah. Edict nerf. I still wish that his Edict did full damage to creeps. I think that it's good to be able to. Like, I want this hero to basically have 3 skills that are very good, but you're balanced by your mana cost. Because I think that's what Leshrac should be. He has really good skills. You're balanced by mana costs, and you basically have to pick 2 of them because you want to get stats, or you have to like go 2-2-4, and then you want to sort of get stats. His stun's really good. Edict's really good. Lightning Storm is really good right now, in my opinion. I'm not sure. It's sort of awkward to cast though. His ulti's good, and his yeah, I already said that, but I think the Edict duration increase is sort of a good balance. It makes him stronger, and like 10 seconds makes him better at farming neutrals. But you know what? The 10 seconds is probably good enough for farming neutrals. I think I like this change. Leshrac's one of my favorite heroes. The last time I played Leshrac in a pub, I went 0-16. Lich Chain Frost, probably a good buff. Lich is sort of, he's in the same boat as Alchemist and other gold generating hero. What is your name, other gold generating hero? Bounty Hunter, but in terms of EXP, because you get ahead on EXP and then you die once and you get a billion EXP. And it's worse because EXP swings are way bigger than gold swings in Dota right now. I wonder if this works if you use phase boots before you use it. This looks incredibly fun. I am terrified of seeing like a race card Nyx, and then he's like in a troll warlord, and he just fucking runs at you, you know? And he nets you, he pops out, and he kills you. That's actually a pretty good change. Also, it'll become attackable by the enemy. Okay, never mind, sorry. I was thinking, like, if you infest a creep, can you ever be killed? This is really good, though. I like the change. Leicester was pickable he was too situational to be picked all the time. So the change is good. I like the hero. He can be really cool sometimes. I don't know how useful this is. I think it's useful. Like you go in, you go. So basically, okay. Here's why this is useful. This is the most useful because it's basically an infest bomb you can use at any time that maybe you can use a creep spell for. But anyways, the main reason is because you can close the distance without having to waste rage time. One of the biggest problems with Leicester is that if you have to use 2 seconds of your rage time catching someone, you're not going to do anything in the fight. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Lina, Taxi Projectile, whatever. I think. Well, I mean it's good for core Lina. Dragon Save does a lot of damage. So much damage. Light Shake Array is really strong. This hero is ridiculous at level 3. 300 nuke damage at level 3. At very low cooldowns. That is a long stun. Don't know if she's viable still. Maybe as core, but it's really awkward to play her as core. She's a cool pub hero. She might be scary mid. You can't play her as carry for sure, I think. I think maybe as mid. Or like a dual lane offlane. Her stats sort of suck though, so it's hard to play a dual lane offlane. Maybe you can do it if they have some weak thing. You have some tanky support that can go in front like Ogre. Like I would not want to play against Ogre Lina lane. But then again, I wouldn't want to play against Ogre Leshrac lane way more, so I don't know about Lina. Wow, 7 damage is a lot. Lion moved up from a range creep to a range mega creep at level 1. That is good. Mana drain interval helps a lot because you had to channel it for a long, like, I would lose half my HP when I drained the Terrorblade illusion, which was bad. 7 base damage. People underestimate base damage a lot. Or maybe they don't, but they don't talk about it a lot. 7 is huge. Especially when we're talking about. So say Stout Shield reduces on average 10 damage a hit, and then armor reduces it further, but let's ignore armor for the purpose of this. So an offlaner has Stout Shield. You hit him for 40 damage a hit, or say 45 damage a hit with Lion. It gets reduced to 35. Now instead of 35, you're doing 42. So instead of just being like maybe like a 12% increase on your DPS, it's actually more like a 20% increase. So it helps. I actually don't like this battle card change. I'll talk about it in a second. Cast time with Spiritbearer's Return is huge for the hero. That I think single-handedly ruined the hero. You could not play the hero with the return change in the offlane or anything. And you couldn't dodge spells with it. Like there's so many things you couldn't do with the hero. If it like you needed to do these clutch plays where you teleport it in front of you and then you block them with it. No. It takes too long. It pisses you off. Anyways, this battle cry change You know what? It's a buff. I don't like how they buffed it that much. Because like 6 seconds, your bear's really easy to disable. It makes it more like if I can hit your tower uncontested, you freaking lost that tower immediately. It makes him worse at fighting. So I think it's a over buff to his like just straight push, and it's not enough of a buff to his fighting, which I think is where he lacked because that bear is way too easy to disable, right? Like it's in the front, it's always open. No one cares. Like you can't hide it at all. It's sort of clunky. It's awkward. It's big. It's easy to cast stuff on. So when we talk 8 to 6, you're not reducing its effective duration by 25%. You're reducing its effective duration from probably like 4 to 2, because we're gonna assume that it gets stunned twice for 4 seconds in a lot of fights. So that's why I don't like it for fights. It's really strong for pushing. It's ridiculously strong for pushing, and 15 armor is wow. That's amazing for your hero. Like if you pop that before you get ganked, you are not dying. 15 armor is really good for fighting. Oh, so maybe I'm underestimating here because before you would pop battle cry, you get stunned and your bear would die. Maybe it survives now, so it's better overall. But like, I think the point still stands about its duration. Like you're not hitting with it, so the damage part isn't as good. That's specifically for damage. Armor will always be super strong. Oh, and there's like I'll talk about the medallion change more in depth later, but I think Lone Druid should just build medallion, cast on your bear and shit like that. And like if you're hitting someone, you just cast on their hero, and you need a mana regen item on that hero anyways, and it's good. It helps for farming. Anyways, Muna level 4 blaze increased from 5 to 6. My math is awful. I don't know how much damage the last glaive does. I should have looked it up before. I had no prep time. I'm so sad. I think it's more of an annoyance thing than a high damage thing. It helps with DPS, of course, but I mean, I like it because it's sort of hilarious to me when you reach your base and glaives just go everywhere. This 4 to 5 beam count matters a lot. This basically means that you have 6 beams, right, with your Q. So 6 beams is 750 damage to 2 heroes. What the hell am I saying? It's 900 damage to 2 heroes. Yeah, and 675 after reduction, I think. 225, 220. Yeah, 675 after reduction. That's enough to kill 2 heroes now. Before, you just didn't have enough to kill 2 heroes. So if you got one beam on a creep, and then each hero got hit by 2, they would both live, and you would just be sad, and you'd be a dead Luna. So that's a significant buff. And I like how they buffed it sort of her early game, because that should be her dominating factor. And then her late game is sort of like it's okay. It sort of balances out the fact that Ancients got harder for her, and it's nice to have. It's not a giant thing. Can my Twitch chat be useful and tell me the percent on the 5th glaive? Like, come on, guys, come on, come on. All right, whatever. Divide respawn time probably good. I think 30% was too high at level 1. His level 16, which he reached in 16, 17. I don't know when he got level 3 thing. Yeah, so that's cool. Adapt to strike. I think. You know what I wanted to try? Like a support Morphling if you have like a Joe Ranger or someone. But in practice, it's always awful. But like, okay. So I'm gonna tell you guys my clowny theory. So you know how like if you guys have ever seen Luna, Jungle, and Dire, where like you go above that hill, you cut the trees with Coil Blade. I was thinking like, could you do the same as Morphling, and then you go Ultra Agi, so you jungle it relatively fast. You stack up camps, and you hit like your level 7. You just go around. And you're like 4 second stun, boom, and a pushback, boom. It's like 6 support. I don't think it'll actually work, but you know whatever. I think it's cool. Night Stalker base attack damage increased by 4. This will help him a lot in mid lane, and also for solo side lanes. He could not solo side lanes because his animation and damage sucked. Crippling Fear mana cost is good. Hero mana issues. Whoa, I did not see this change. $675 is really low. Damn. That is really, really low. And Darkness no longer pausing the day/night timer is probably good for the hero just because you don't have these ridiculously long nights. But during those ridiculously long nights, you had a lot of downtime anyways. Now you can pop it during the day and it skips part of the day. So he's weak for less periods of time, I guess, which is really good. Whoa. That has huge implications actually. When you have 1800 vision and they have 675 on all of them, your team fighting can be ridiculous. And it matters on wards too. Sorry, I just need to pause to think about this because vision is way too important in Dota right now. It determines team fights. Whenever you have teams with big ultimates, the team with the better vision and initiation will always win. Right now, assuming like high skill. Yeah, that's cool. Lane Soccer might be pretty viable. I don't know though. The hero always feels so off to me. We're gonna see some S4 Night Soccer for sure though. It affects wards, so I can't drop a ward in my team fight. Man, that is harsh. I think that actually needs. That's too strong. I think the vision is too strong. It lasts for 50 seconds. That's too long. It's like that. I think it needs to affect wards less. I did not see that change at all. And it's Ogre Magi. Probably one of the heroes in the last patch who needed nerfs the most. This one matters a bit. This one is sort of significant. He's still ridiculous level 1. He has 6 armor, 2.5 regen. His movement state is below average, but whatever. He has high HP, super high base damage, and Ignite is still level 1, 130 damage nuke. This change does not ruin Ogre Magi, but it makes him a bit less strong, which is extremely good. This change makes OD. It sort of busts the already strong parts of OD, which I mean I like that in a balance change. And when you get 4 stacks of Astral on someone at level 7, they are instantly gonna die to your ulti because that's like 52, so 520 damage or whatever that is. That is good. Also, the intelligence steal duration, yeah, I mean it bounces though. I think it's still good for OD overall. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, PA, small nerf, probably needed. The weird thing about this hero is she has weird peaks. She's really weak until like level 3 or 4. And then she gets super strong. Gets super strong. When she gets her crits and stuff, she's super strong throughout the mid game. To get MKB, she's fucking worth it. To get BKBs and MKBs, because BKB is really good versus PA. Which is weird because she's all physical damage, just because she can't blink and be mobile. She gets super weak when they get MKBs and BKBs, and then she gets weird late game where she like one-shots everyone, but like she instantly dies too. So yeah. Phoenix. Thank God they fixed this. That was really annoying. Supernova attacks. Okay. I think Phoenix is viable, by the way, as support. Pudge, Meat Hook, range increased. Good stuff. That's the first time I said good stuff this patch, by the way. Actually. I hope someone plays. I hope someone goes in patch notes and just goes to their friends like, I want to play a drinking game today at the start of this, and then they get to this point. I just go actually, and then they get alcohol poisoning, and I get to laugh at them for laughing at me. I think this makes support Pudge a lot better and offlane Pudge a lot better. I don't know how much it matters for mid Pudge. It's a good buff to Pudge. I think the hero Nina buff. Conceptually, I think the hero's really exciting. I don't like him in the game for competitive that much just because he feels very random, but he is a very high skill cap hero and he makes the game dynamic. So I shouldn't. It's hard to say it like that. Like I don't mean like I think I hate him in the game because of how he plays. It's just some games he feels very random. That's I don't know how to express it. He makes the game different than standard Dota, which isn't necessarily bad, but I am against change because I am slow. The crit time boost speed on allies reduced. That's nice. That's nice. Nether ward attacks. That's really nice because that Nether ward is already hard to kill, and the blade mill matters a lot because honestly, every time I saw a Pugna and I was like an OD or something, I rushed a blade mill and I ulted the ground and I killed him, and that was my plan for the game. So that's good. It's a really big buff to Pugna. And the heroes, like he got nerfed with all the pushing changes. I really like his change to his ulti where you can ult your allies. Because like you can get like Tranquil with Soul Ring and just ult your allies all game, which is hilarious. Want to support Pugna? My friend did that in the pub yesterday. MJW on eHug. Shout out to MJW from eHug. And like he's one of the better counters to Void, which everyone seems to complain about. Because you can decap the person in it. You can life drain the person in it, and you shouldn't get caught by the Void and Chrono. You should get a Blink Dagger and stuff like that and be just in the back. Anyways, Kuno playing, that is a far level 1 Blink. Bounce out by cooldown, that's good. Pure damage. I don't even know if this is good. It does more damage to heroes, but when you get eggs, you can't auto a creep wave. This might be bad overall, to be honest for her. This one specifically. Like the pure damage and things to it. Spell would be obviously good. I don't know if Queen of like every time on paper I look at Queen of Pain, I'm like, oh, this hero, her skills are pretty good. But or I mean by her spells, I mean just Blink is good. I don't think she's buffed enough off this, to be honest. I think that this one is the scepter change specifically is really bad for her. Because I think it's like she can't kill creeps at like 25 minutes now. The melee creeps in one hit. I think they get to 580. I'm not sure. 28, 29, 30? I don't know. Anyways, Riki, scary as hell. I hate that hero. So annoying. I don't like this, the blink charge restore time, and then the max charge being higher. It lets him peak a bit higher, but I think I'd rather have him consistently good. But I don't like it. I don't mean it's a bad change. I just think that the direction of the hero would be different if I was in charge of balancing. I'm not in charge of balancing because I would be awful, by the way. And they probably know more about it than me. So this is... Damn, level 6, he's so strong though. Probably good. He's really good offlane. He can't be carry, in my opinion. Doesn't do enough stuff. Fade Bolt, mana cost. Ooh, that's good. Back down. That's good. That's good. Still can't mid him, I think. Scepter Steal cooldown reduced from 5 to 2. This is misleading as a buff because you can't steal something like Ravage, steal a different spell really quick, and then re-steal Ravage, and the cooldown can get reset like before. They actually nerfed that. So you don't reset your cooldowns when you steal a spell again. Which, is sort of unfortunate. I wish they could code it so that, like, if they use a refresher, then you can steal it again. Like, it basically matches their cooldown for the spell. Once you've used it. Like, you can only, I don't know if that makes sense. Because I'd love to see some sick spells. I think Rubik, I don't think this matters for any other team, so me and Pi were theory crossing. Well, Rubik, you can't go blink and stuff. You have to just basically rush eggs, even last patch. Because you're too low impact with the blink. You have a blink, you blink in, you have a 2-second stun, and you instantly die. Your nuke sucks. You don't need to position that much. Eggs is actually really good on him, so yeah. Shadow Rays, in my opinion, not enough of a buff. Basically, it makes him easier to get CS at level 1 Shadow Rays versus some heroes, which is really nice, but I think the hero's very specifically good sometimes, and not that good most of the time. Which is true of a lot of heroes in those. So basically, I told you nothing about Shadow Fiend. He hurts though. It might matter a lot because, like, he can kill at level 2. He has so much nuke damage. Even level 1, he has 300 damage of nuke, which is really hard to get off, but at least he has 200. That's decently easy to get off. Glazer Wyndham buff, whatever. Ignore this one, 6%, whatever. Last word, cooldown. Doesn't really matter. Nerf to Silencer overall, sort of weird to be honest. Scarlet Mage base agi reduced. Not too sure if that's enough of a nerf for a hero. It's a less nerf than what Ogre got, but he does have like 0 or negative armor now, I believe. Which is nice. Sprint duration and cooldown decrease, amplified damage. This one is obviously really strong for, I mean, you have the cooldown spell, it's going to be better. And it was too hard to spam before. I think a little cast range increase could have been nice, but Sardra's such a mobile hero. Sardra's one of my favorite heroes, by the way, but I think it's very hard to run him. Sprint duration, cooldown, and duration reduce is really good, specifically because when you run from Fountain right now, like, I'm serious with this, when you run from Fountain right now, by the time you make it to a lane, your sprint is barely up. Right now, when you run from Fountain, your sprint will basically be ready again, which is huge when you're ganking at side lane. Yeah, so that's actually a pretty big buff in that. Amplified damage will be, I mean, the biggest thing for this, amplified damage is OP as a spell, like, conceptually. Maybe not for ultimate. If it's a normal ability, it'd be super OP. But it destroys some heroes. It's like double damage on them. So, I mean, I like it. I like Starter. Starter's my bro. I like Fishman. Really ugly though. Seen Starter? Anyways, Pounce damage. I don't know if Stark needed a nerf, but that's fine. I'm fine with him being nerfed. It's not like this nerf is gonna break him or anything. It's just a low rebalance because maybe his magic damage is a little bit too high for a carry, considering he hits decent hard anyways. The thing with Slark is that he's sort of funny as a carry in that all his damage is magical, and then he has 19 more damage from this spell seal. So like he's really good against heroes like Terrorblade or stuff with high armor, just because one, he can find him, which is really nice. But people underestimate the fact that it's just really high magic damage output for this hero and damage that goes through armor. Shrapnel no longer does damage to buildings. Mana cost is really low. I think it's a change in what Sniper's dynamic is supposed to be now. Before he was the only reason you would pick Sniper, sorry, I think, is to all-in push. And now is he just fucking worthless now? He might just be fucking worthless now. There's a pretty high possibility. Because you have a field of Shrapnel, and I mean Shrapnel's a decent spell. It's a good spell. But if it doesn't hit buildings, it's honestly not that good. If I could take Shrapnel or Svenstun, you know, like I'm taking Svenstun. It's really high range though. No, I think Sniper's garbage without it hitting buildings. The mana cost is really low. He's like right now he would be really good in lane, just because it's like 1800 range and spammable. It's higher than 1800 range just because it's a big AOE. So you can spam their offlane from really far away for really low mana costs. But then like I don't know what you do after that. Like, yeah, no, I don't like Sniper right now. That's my knee-jerk reaction. He might be better in pubs, to be honest, because I don't think people are getting Shrapnel or pushing with it anyways, and now they might get it, like just 1 point, and you just slow a huge area. It's a really good spell, Shrapnel, just because it slows attack speed too, so people can't man fight you. You combine it with your headshot, and they can't attack at all. Anyways, Spirit Breaker, little buff. Don't need to know if the hero needed a buff. This buff won't matter that much. It just means that when you pop your aura, you're not super slow for the next little bit. So it's not just a cooldown buff, it's the fact that when you pop your cooldown, until it's up again, you're slower. You only get half aura, so that's nice. Turn rate improved. Storm was already a decent hero. I think this should make him a more pickable hero. I like it. Storm's an exciting hero. I forgot to log off Steam. I'm not going to log off Steam now. I need to check it though, because I'm not checking it. I'm not checking it. I have self-control. Sven, work hydration up. Good stuff, good stuff. Second time I said it. Third time I said it too. Scepter, I don't know who gets Scepter on Sven. I don't even know. It's probably good on support Sven if you can get it, but you need like a blink and stuff first. Maybe you don't. Maybe you can just play that heroes like Warcry and Scepter. Because that's pretty possible. I'll experiment with it eventually. Techies, fuck Techies, remove him from the game. Wait, is he captain's mode? Yeah, he's in captain's mode. I already knew that, but like, fuck, please don't put that hero in oh my god, I hope no one picks him. I hate that hero, like, he makes Dota a shitty game. That's how I feel. I actually think that if Techies is in game, Dota becomes a worse game. And, well, I call a lot of heroes OP, and I think they're bad for the game. I never mean at the scale Techies. I think Techies makes the game boring, which is different. Doom, there's some dynamics around Doom, you know? Like, if you have vision of him, he's not going to get to Doom. You can blink away. You can get Lincolns off. You can, you can initiate on him. You can do a lot of things to him. Techies, you're like, can I walk up this hill? Can I walk around the map? No. You know what? No, I can't. And then, like, he's just annoying. And he never becomes amazingly good, but he takes up a lot of farm and he delays the game. So like you're gonna have some shitty ass Techies Medusa lineups where they just fucking turtle at Techies and the game becomes shit. And that sucks. Anyways. Hairblade buff? Nerf? This one is a nerf. Because late game, if you got 115 HP, they died in 1 hit. Now they're at 20% HP, so they also die in 1 hit. So I don't know if that matters at all. Reflection cast point, yeah, I mean that's nice because it's sort of awkward to use before. This sort of balances out a little bit of this, so that's nice. Who's messaging me on Steam? Okay, I need to check this. I need to log off Steam. All right, it's just some of my friends. I was like, I've honestly, I had to check. I thought it was Envy like yelling at me because I said something I shouldn't have, and then I would have to like just completely redact something and make something out so it didn't seem important, Anyways, Tidehunter, base movement speed reduced by 5. That is good because he was too fast. Ravage, yeah, Refresher Tide did a bit too much damage. Not a huge nerf because the hero didn't need a huge nerf. It's good. I like how, again, I'm gonna say that I said it 50 times in this video, but I like repetitive statement because it's all I do. Actually, I hope he would die for alcohol poisoning. They're nerfing strong heroes very slightly so that they're still viable, which is really nice. He's seeking missile, whatever. Tinker, dead hero. Maybe support Tinker. Damn. Never seen support Tinker. Never lost a game because of support Tinker. We should try it. Anyways, toss duration increase, nice, gives allies time to react, and just makes 1.3 seconds. The biggest thing about this is that so avalanche. If you hit avalanche, hit toss, hit, you can always get all your hits off before I think they react. If you're coming out of invis or like you're blinking or something like that, that's actually quite nice. This one is huge. As I said, movement speed affects the game a lot. Tiny goes from fuck. You know, I played the hero so much. I don't know if he's 280 or 270, 85 base. But anyways, he gets 40 at level 6, which is really big. He goes fast at level 6. And he's strong then. Because Tiny has weird peaks, right? He has a peak at level 8. I don't consider his peak at level 9. Because level 9 comes so late. Peak at level 8. And then, okay, peak at level 3. Peak at level 6, in my opinion. And then peak at level 8. And then he is like, he's okay. You know, he's a pretty good carry. And then he, like, late game, he's just absurd. And by peaks, I just mean like strong points. Yeah. I have never farmed the eggs on tree, so. I mean, the 55 is way too long, but yeah, whatever. Damage doesn't really matter. I don't think you ever hit anyone with that. Maybe for farming neutrals though. Damn. Fervor count. That was quite bad before. If that was true. Like I didn't know about that, but that is pretty bad. Are you supposed to start at 1 like for the initial hit or something? I think it's like. When you did your initial hit, the first attack speed didn't kick in before you did the hit, so then you just attack slower. But I don't know how it works. It's good. Good. I don't know if this is good. For the hero. I think it's good. Probably good. Makes it a lot easier to use it after you snowball and stuff, but as far as I know, you could use it during the snowball. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it'll make comboing with them a lot easier. Like that's probably good. This is a pretty big buff to Undying. Not that big, but like the biggest thing is like you never had 20 units around, so that like level 4 Storm, it's like yeah, you just want it for a cooldown and it costs too much mana. And you're like meh. Tombstone armor increased by 1 means it's OP as always in Dota. So this one like you're actually gonna hit full soul rip targets. It's a lot easier to 16 units than 20 units. Also, it does 30 damage to everyone. So damn. And whoa. That means at level 1, it does 180 damage or heal for 50 mana. That is good. That is good. This one actually matters a lot. Actually, this one matters a lot. I'm trying to. Like, people keep saying stuff, so I'm trying to like cut out how I talk, but it's really hard. I'm not good at speaking. The only reason I speak is because I don't know why I do it. I mean, like speak like publicly, because I don't know. Whatever. But Flash Golem max slow increase. That helps a lot because like the thing about this slow is that it's one of those things that was never you never notice it, so you never thought it was good. I think the Flash Golem slow is really good. It's because it affects everyone. It's the same thing. Fuck! I forgot to log off Steam. Wait a second. Friends. Whoa! Ooh, I am hacker. Eat hacker. No scope. It's like SMI, but now they changed SMI so it has a ding whenever you do or whatever. But like you didn't notice some things, but it impacted team fight a lot. I think Flash Golden Soul is one of those, and even though it went to 20, people still won't notice it, but it'll help a lot. We have a cooldown, cooldown increase. Good. That spell was OP completely. Vision, damage, cancel blinks, cancel healing, solve, minus ridiculous amounts of armor, and super long range spammable. Like it makes it's still spammable, and again, this doesn't ruin Venge at all, but it makes her a bit weaker because she was strong. This one, I think this is completely negligible. If they touch you, you die when you have level 1 Glacier Cloak. I think it's extremely rare that you're going to actually use it. It's still a buff, of course, because I say, like, extremely rare and you're never going to use it. But I know I'm going to use, like, 1 out of 10 games, it's going to come in, or like even 1 out of 3 games, it's going to come into play at least once. Maybe even every game will come into play at least once. I just won't notice it. I actually think Glacier Cloak is one of the shittiest spells in the game. I know I'm comparing it to one of the best spells in the game, but Glacier Cloak, Refraction, like, 1 prevents all damage for 7 hits, and gives you 80 damage for 7 hits. Yeah, it costs mana, whatever. And 1 prevents some damage for 4 hits, and doesn't give you any offensive capabilities, and it's just fucking terrible. Like the difference in skill is like it's too ridiculous. And I mean, Vincent sort of needs a skill like that to keep him balanced, just because his items are like Atos, Dagon 5. What was it? Atos, Dagon 5, Vanguard or something, and like Necrobook. I saw an image in that. I thought it was cute. But anyways, Warlock. Every patch, I think Warlock's gonna be OP. He never lives up to my expectation. That hero is awkward to run, awkward to play. I think this should help him a lot, just because Fatal Bonds. I didn't know it had 800 cast range before, but 900 is quite far, and the radius is big because you didn't always hit people with a 575 radius. 700 is a significant improvement. When you increase AoEs like this, it's not just like, oh, this is like 10% or 20% better. It's more like it's 40 or 50% better in terms of what AoE it can cover. No, this is radius. I'm an idiot. Never mind. It's not circle. Ha ha ha. Math. Low. It's just a like 20% increase to it, which is good. Power shot. The biggest thing is that focus fire, of course, attacks faster. She's one of the highest DPS in the game. Lingering vision is lower because the range is bigger. Power shot changes actually don't matter. These ones are nothing, I think. You can power shot faster, I guess. Wait, my laptop turned off so I can't see Twitch chat. Yeah. I think Winner still feels like a mediocre hero without Dual Ranger. This power shot change is sort of interesting to me just because you can spam so well now. But if you look at power shot compared to other nukes, it's a 360 damage nuke that downscales really quickly in terms of damage. That has a 1 second channel time. Like, power shot is a shit skill. Even though it's really cool and you see all these big plays with it, power shot is a shit skill. I guarantee you with another nuke, Windrunner would be a lot better. And it's super high range though, which is cool. Focus fire, yeah, good stuff. I think Winner's still mediocre without draw. I already said that. La la la. Animal courier, I'm gonna take 10 minutes. Not in this. I'm not talking about this for 10 minutes. I'm gonna take 10 minutes later on to just test what item combinations I can get while getting the courier. One thing that I've thought is that supports don't have to buy the courier, it can be a core. I don't know if that's actually true though. Armlet, decent buff. Item wasn't picked up enough. Think it's a strong item. Think it should get a lot more good. You know, people got really one of the reasons people thought TA was OP at one point, like around TI2 when Ferrari vs. Mobile happened, was because it was bugged so that if you refractioned, you didn't take cold snap damage. Like if he cold snaps you and then he hits you, you don't get cold snap because you don't take any damage. And the same thing for Blink Digger for her back then. And people are like, oh, that's so broken on TA. It's sort of interesting to me that it's now the case where if you have refraction, you get ganked. I think you can just always blink out. So this is one of the biggest busts to TA if you go Blink Dagger. The thing is, no one goes Blink Dagger on that hero now, but maybe it'll be the new thing again. Because wow, that's really good for split pushing. I don't know anything. They would have to hit you with a stun, which is a lot harder than like hitting you once so that you can't blink. Like TA should never ever get chrono by Void, because the only reason Void can chrono people is if he jumps in and hits them, and then he chronos, because they'll just blink away at a pro level anyways, if they're on land. Like, don't tell other pros this, but like when I'm on Luxembourg, they can always chrono me. But yeah, anyways, this one's interesting. It puts more emphasis on runes, which I think is good. I think this patch overall wanted to sort of all the heroes in the current meta are strong at runes. All the support heroes, I think, overall, except for like maybe Venge. Like those are the top ones, and by the top ones, I just mean Scarlet and Ogre. So by putting more emphasis on the runes, even though Scarlet and Ogre got slight nerfs, and the level 1 rune thing too, they might actually be more important. So that's sort of an interesting change. It also makes sniping the courier a lot easier. It's good stuff. Fourth time, Broadsword, Talisman Evasion. I can't buy Butterfly in my side shop. I'm very sad about that. I'm upset. I can buy Blade Mail in my side shop now, which I guess is okay, but Butterfly is so cool, you know? You're like, you bring yourself your Ego Song, you're about to push like their bottom, and then your courier is right flying out because your teammate doesn't know how to communicate, and you just send his side shop, you get a Butterfly, you're like, oh, I'm so cool. Maybe it's better that you can buy it, like, the people going Battle Freight can now get like 2 parts from the side shop, which is really cool. Because you have regen and you have some damage, which makes you farm faster with your like Coil and Blade Broadsword. You actually farm decently. I think it's 18 damage, right? I don't know what it is. 21? Claymores 21, Hammer's 24, Broadsword's 18. Circlet, probably good for starting builds. Again, buying Circlets at level early on is sort of mediocre though, just because like you compare it to Ring Protection, which is sort of similar cost, or like just branches. So I don't know what that does, to be honest. Clarity's already OP, now they're more OP, yay. Crimson Guard probably need a buff. Crimson Guard, sorry, excuse me, that's actually disgusting. People underestimated what Crimson Guard did anyways, just because it's sort of hard to see when you're blocking damage. Crimson Guard block is pretty much always good. This is one of my favorite changes. No longer Diffusal Blade is one of the coolest items in Dota, I think. I think you can do a lot with Diffusal Blade. You can purge like half the disables in Dota, and then you can purge like you can purge like half the debuffs and slows and stuff in Dota, and then you can purge like Hex. For example, one is like Hex. It's a good offensive item. The item is pretty good overall. Like it's level 2 Diffusal Blade, 60 damage, 35 attack speed, 5 armor for 4,000 gold. And I love Diffusal Blade. The problem is that if you're using it to purge debuffs and stuff, the recipe cost limits it too much. I don't like the concept of balancing something. It's strong. It's so strong, so you have to balance it by having limited charges, because it makes it more of an all-in item if you're trying to use it for debuffs. If you don't end the game by whatever minute, by the time you use just 16 charges, your item effectiveness drops a lot. So whether that means that you need to be able to... What the fuck is my chat doing? Anyways, either that mean do you need to be able to refill your charges or get you all in? I lost my chain of thought because everyone's spamming my chat. But anyways, and I don't like the concept of having to all in based on the items you buy, even though it's pretty prevalent in Dota. Like you get a BKB, you're pretty much your farm speed slower, blah blah blah. But at least you can do. I don't know how to explain this. I'm just gonna ignore it. Drum charges. That's cool. People pop drums. Good stuff. Good time. Eoscepter needed a nerf. Probably a good nerf. Eoscepter's still going to be a top tier item. Healing Salve. Cost reduced. 5 gold. I am rich. Dominated. Helma Dominator. That is so tanky. That's tankier than Chen. That's cool. I can't wait till I run my 5 HOTD strat in Chen, and now we just have 9 creeps, and we just run them down the lane. And if they don't have AoE, they lose. That'd be great. Helm of the Dominator is a very good item with this. It's always had decent stats, but now your creep will stay alive, and you can get something like a speed creep, which is pretty good. Or like a harpy creep for night vision, stuff like that. What? Anyways. Magic Wand rewards people for saving up wand charges, good stuff. Medallion card. This one I really like. It doesn't stack. I asked if it stacked because I was scared that like someone would push the base and they just have 28 extra armor. It's good. It's more than worth the recipe cost. I mean, 1 extra armor probably makes it already worth the recipe cost. And it's sort of a cool interaction in my opinion. It would be really cool in Syllabear, for example. I think it's a buff to that. And just overall, Pipe of Insight, Okay, so when I play Dota with my team, we say Pipe is an item that no one ever wants to get because it sucks ass to get, but sometimes you need it. So that means that it had a niche, but the niche was probably too small. So this probably makes it a bit better. I don't know by how much. It's probably like, yeah, it helps. Refresher Orb is OP, so they should nerf it. Good. Refresher Orb is OP, by the way. That's the item. It can break a lot of games. Shadow Amulet. Oh, this one's really nice. It's just like it makes it way easier to use, and when you use it, it becomes a lot better. I think, in my opinion. It's because before it was awkward, you know. You like stop while using it, and then like you press right click, and like you look at the buff, and you're like, can I time this 0.1 seconds? And then you miss it, and then you're visible, and then they kill you, and then you're just sad. The cost reduction, obviously a buff to Shadow Amulet and to Lothars. I think you can go Shadow Amulet on some heroes, but not Lothars, like Witch Doctor. I'm not sure on that though. Do any of these matter? Oh, thank God they fixed out click. Like, wow, I need more of those. Sound effect is actually, I think it's good for SNY. I think that's a buff to item. People realize it when it's doing something. And like, I'm serious with that. I'm not saying it because like, I'm serious because like, you can play around hitting a proc, you know? You know when they're slow and stuff. Before, it's like really hard to notice that blood spur. I have a stomachache, help. Thank God, less DDoS. Okay, Yay! My stomach hurts. Help, 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 help. Help, help, help. Thank God we can taunt now. This one's specifically useful. control. Oh, now we're gonna control alt click everything. All right. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I got for my patch analysis. So thank you very much for watching. This will be uploaded to my YouTube, which is if someone could post it in the chat. It'd be good if you could post it there, and then. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be streaming a few games in a bit. I sort of wanted to talk about the Envy stuff too, but anyways, yeah, thanks so much for